I talked a lot about the yamas of yoga. If anybody watched the presidential debate, I think it was a really good example of how the yamas were not in play, and there's this other concept beyond the yamas, and I'll explain them in just a moment. But well, let me explain them now. So the yamas are these behavioral aspects, universal behaviors that we should all adhere to for a peaceful society and for a spiritually evolved life. And there's examples within our own lives. Each of us struggle with the yamas along the way. And then, of course, really big examples of how the yamas are not being upheld can be found. And I think the debate was a perfect example, regardless of how you feel politically. Just the concept of lack of civility that can occur amongst people. So the yamas are there's a few of them. So the first is ahimsa, which is nonviolence, but really instead of thinking of the don'ts, try to think of the do's. So a lot of the yamas like don't do this, don't do this, but let's flip that and just think about what does it mean to be nonviolent? It means to be kind. It means to be meet the other person that you're meeting with incredible respect and dignity. So the first is kindness or nonviolence. And then the next one is truthfulness, satya. So, I think clear examples of in our political structure where these things are not inherent in our cultural, political sphere. So, what would the world be like if truth was told, and truth was told with respect and kindness? We can think of this in lots of different ways. Our own truthfulness toward ourselves. Are you ignoring things about yourself? Are you able to be honest with how you're feeling? Are you able to share your truth? Are you able to listen to other people's truths? So the next of the yamas is this sense of not stealing. So this is obviously like don't take other people's belongings, but also stealing time. I think the debates was a good example of this. Can you let other people speak? Do you overpower people? Do you have to be on top? Do you have to put yourself on top and put somebody else below you? Do you steal people's thunder? Do you steal people's light in order to create your own? So there's lots of ways to think about asteya. And then the next is brahmacharya, which traditionally has been about sexual continence, like holding back orgasm for men, but really that's not the essence of what the word means. It's really about how do you cultivate your own, and how do you manage your energy? How do you be in charge of allowing your energy to be, your vital forces to be renewable, as well as not allowing your energies to affect other people in a way that's not positive. So, like when you're angry, it's good to get anger out of you, but maybe not so good to yell at the person next to you, right? So, how do you manage your energy is brahmacharya, and how do you respect your vital forces that are given to you through the pranic field? Are you treating yourself with care? Do you get enough sleep? Are you de-stressing? Are you eating well? Are you drinking well? All these things. And then the last of the yamas is this sense of non-hoarding. So possessiveness, I'm right, you're wrong, my way. This country gets the vaccine when it arrives, but nobody else does. What is mine, and I'm not going to share. I mean, you can think of this in very personal ways and very global ways. These are the yamas, and it's things that we all need to work with. It's not something that comes easy to. It's against some parts of our primal nature of self-protection and greed and anger, and the things that are part of our human nature. So working with the yamas is really important. So I talked a lot about this yesterday, but I'm reviewing it since most of you were not here yesterday in class. And what do you do with that? What do you do to try to cultivate these ethical principles in your life, especially when you are moving up against your own internal anger or frustration about how the world is and how our leaders are acting in the world? So what I talked about yesterday, and we'll move on from this in just a moment, but what I talked about yesterday is just two simple techniques, not easy, but simple techniques that you can do to help you um, widen the gap between when you have an impulse of emotion like anger or fear, or greed. You know, when you have an impulse of emotion that rises within you and you want to lash out and react, how do you widen the gap between the impulse and the reaction so that you have a chance in that minding of the gap to cultivate wise action? We don't get very wise when we're reacting from our limbic brain. We need to move into our, our prefrontal cortex and have the wisdom of our of evolution, our spiritual evolution, be at the forefront. So how to widen that gap from our asana practice, the skills we can cultivate, is first of all to let emotions move through you. And that requires us to learn how to be present with our physical states. Emotions live in the body. So if you can increase your tolerance, your window of tolerance for rage, for instance, anger, and let it move through you instead of having to lash out with it. It feels really good to lash out when you're angry and push it out. But can you find a way to do this where you're not reacting to a person or a thing, but let emotion move through you, any kind of emotion? So a lot of times we either hold and grip and tighten, or we deny and push away and hide from. And if you are able to live in your physical body more, through the practice of asana, learning that interoception and sensate experience, we increase our window of tolerance for the difficult emotions that arise, let them move through us, stay present for them and let them move instead of gripping them or denying them, which doesn't let them move through us. So if we can allow emotions through, then we get the wave, right? And then the wave ends and we get to the other side and we have a capacity to not be working from the impulse of reaction and instead have wise action. So widening that gap, increasing our tolerance for discomfort in our emotional states. And one of the ways to do that is to practice physical discomfort in your body, standing in a pose for a long time and seeing what that feels like and allowing your body to relax and melt and feel the places where you tend to hold. And then the second thing besides that was that I talked about yesterday was this concept of breathing. So if our exhales can lengthen just a little bit, we increase the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of us that helps us relax and not be in that fight or flight or freeze mode. So just a simple thing like sighing, letting the breath out, pursed lips exhales, little bit stretched out exhales. When you feel yourself become overwhelmed by emotion and you want to react, take a moment to yield, ground yourself, be in your body and breathe. So like I said, these are simple techniques, but they're not easy. So the more we can practice them in our asana practice, when things are calm, we have that tool available to us a little bit more when things are not calm. So it's a skill to develop, and we all fall off the horse and then we get back on and we try again. So the last thing I want to say, so this is kind of what I talked about yesterday. And like I said, I'm just reviewing it since most of you weren't here. But I also want to say that there's another piece that follows in the Yoga Sutra after the Yamas, and it's this concept of take the opposite view. So if we are trying to cultivate wise action and wise understanding, we often don't allow ourselves to see the other point of view. And I think this is one of the big things that are happening in our culture right now, is that I'm right, you're wrong. My view is correct, your view is wrong. I have a sound bite of understanding one sentence of my view versus your view. And we have that rigidity and black and white thinking that has really come to the surface, and it's not healthy for our personal relationships as well as our global relationships. So part of the Yoga Sutra after the Yamas, it talks about how do you allow yourself through this wise action, through this kind of stepping back and widening that gap, how do you use that space to really try to understand somebody else's perspective? And I think it's a really great exercise to call somebody up on the phone who views the world politically, perhaps since we're in the midst of this, differently from you, and really try to understand where they're coming from. Why is it that they feel so differently from you? And try to come to that common ground and understanding that we are all one. Most of the time, if you can see another human being, even if you disagree with them, as someone who has light and goodness and a spirit within them, we can start to see a little bit differently. And even when you see somebody's perspective being different, it might be because they are working from a place of fear or pain or suffering. And if we can come to the understanding of that, our compassion can grow and we have a little bit more tolerance for understanding. So this is really important work, and it's really difficult work, and we have to start working at it. And our yoga practice is beautiful, skillful means for helping us develop our tolerance for other points of view. So not only sitting in someone else's moccasins, but also when you really truly see that the yamas are being not followed by yourself or another, to stand up for what is right. And we can do this with respect and kindness as well. So I know jabber, 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 lot to say, but I know that everybody's thinking deeply about these things right now. And it's important that we cultivate the best action possible for healing our world. We need deep healing. Besides, political leadership, we need deep healing as a nation. And these are some of the ways that we personally can make some impacts. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall and close your eyes and take a moment to relax. Come into your body. Come into the state of what you're experiencing right now. So if you tend to grip and tense toward the stressors, the emotional stressors, or if you tend to hide and run away and deny, or mask over with, I don't know, sugar or alcohol or drugs, or whatever your way of denying is, know this about yourself. So know where you tend to grip or hide. And let's be compassionate to the ways that we try to support ourselves that maybe aren't so effective. So give yourself a hug inside for those attempts for self-soothing. And let's widen our expansiveness. Let's widen our capacities by just being in the body. Come into your breath. And see if you can find that exhale. What happens when you breathe out? What happens in your body? What happens in your mind? Can you allow the shoulders to melt? Is there a place for you to let go and relax? Try different ways of breathing out. So, of course, it's important when we're inhaling to try to breathe through the nose because of the physiology that happens with that. That is so good for our health. But with the exhale, do what's good for your mental health. See what feels good. Is the breathing out through your nose effective for you? Perhaps a long sigh is what's effective for you. You can even like relax your lips and forcefully release your air with a lot of softness through your jowls. Let the exhales teach you that your nervous system can relax, that you have the capacity to be at ease. Scan your body for places where you hold and grip and tense, and let go as best as you can. And even if there's icebergs that are hard to melt, just see what you can do to be offer a little bit of a balm. I'm going to work with yielding a little bit today. So just sense into the groundedness of the pelvis. Feel where your legs touch the earth. Is your spine comfortable? Are you seated well? Do you need support? Do you have the capacity for your spine to feel spacious? All right, now let's place the palms together at the heart and bow in. Offer an intention, perhaps it's around developing these skills of ease in the body, tolerance for physical and emotional states in the body, working with the breath. And then let's release the hands and come onto your back. All right, so as you lie down on the floor, if we are increasing our window of tolerance, we need space. We need space in our breath. We need space in time. We need space in our body for things to move around. You know, if you have everything packed in tight, there's not a lot of room for movement, and we want things to move through us. So let's go ahead and feel your joints for a moment. Let's start at the crown and see if you can sense all the vertebrae from the base of your skull. Just travel down the spine and find some, almost like you can fall with gravity as a support, and let things spread. See if there's room in your vertebrae all the way down your spine. Come into the breath as you do this. Give yourself the gift of surrender. And don't worry, we haven't even moved yet, so don't worry if it's hard to find the softness. And then travel out to your collarbones where they meet your sternum, your collarbones where they meet your shoulders. Relax and open up the shoulder joints, the elbow joints, the wrists, all the little joints in your hands. Just sense into some spaciousness as much as possible. Relax through your jaw, the way your jaw joint feels. See if you can feel your breath moving in, and even though they're not, as mobile joints, feel where your ribs articulate both to the sternum and to the vertebrae. And loosen up that space. Let your bones have space, room to move, so that when we get to moving in a moment, we have freedom. Let's travel down to the pelvis. Feel your sacroiliac joints. Feel your pubic symphysis, where the two sides of your pelvis meet at your pubic bone. Feel into the heads of your femur bones and the hip joints. Create as much space around your pelvis as you can. Move into your knees, soft, spacious knees and ankles, all the way down into all the bones of your feet. Travel back upward to your skull. And even though the fissures of our skull bones are not actual joints, make some space. All the little fissures in your skull. See if you can feel a sense of softness. And then take a deep breath. We're going to stretch out like our starfish, stretch from your navel to your edges. You don't have to be vigorous. You can be gentle. Just open your body up. Feel room. Breathe into the space. And then exhale and draw your knees in. Pick up your head if you want to. You don't have to. Squeeze in a bit. Close up some space. Inhale, open some space. Exhale. Close up some space. One more time. Inhaling.
Feeling your body grow, your heart, your lungs, all the space you need. Exhale, drawing it in. Keep your head down now, knees stay in, then circle a few times. Just notice some ease across the back of your body on the floor. Feel your sacroiliac joints, your pelvis, your hip joints, your spine. Go the other way. Circle your knees the opposite direction and notice if this road less traveled, because this is probably not the way you like to spin. Can you find ease and comfort even when something's slightly unusual? Head right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor. Feel free to do some of those movements with your ankles. Feel some compression in the knee and the hip. Put your knee in a comfortable place, so more toward the midline or more out. Wake up the bottom of your feet. Get the soles of your feet to broaden and open. Open the eyes on the bottom of your feet. And then change directions. Left knee in, right leg long on the floor. And feel that sense of spin. Move the ankles, wiggle the toes, get all the joints in your feet to wake up, open up, and be spacious, alive. Lots of blood flow as you move. Feel the compression in your hip, and then release that down. Wide open again, starfish, open your body. Exhale, knees to your chest. Keep your head down. Open your knees out, bring your knees back in, and just feel that swing and sway through the hip joints. Notice how the pelvis and the low back respond. How is your breath? All right, put your feet down flat on the ground, a little wider than your hips, arms out to the side, and windshield wiper your knees. And after the first pass, left to right, add the arm and head, stretch the oppositional arm away, turn your head, come back, change sides. Make sure that you are not holding your breath. Keep the flow of breath moving as you open the spaciousness of the body. Okay, and then let's go ahead and stretch our limbs out on the floor. Now feel just the teeniest bit of movement that we've done, the coming into awareness of being in our body. Feel full space, all your joints at once. Can you unlock all your joints? Fill the empty rooms. So imagine that your joints are big, open, giant rooms with wind blowing through. All right, let's go ahead and find our way onto our side and come up onto all fours. Have your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Let's sit back under our heels for a moment and roll out your wrists. I meant to do this earlier. I feel like sometimes we don't warm up our wrists enough for weight bearing. Okay, and then place your hands back down onto the ground. Start to move the body. Cat-cows, moving the spine, feeling all the ways that you can open, feeling the ways that maybe your body isn't quite ready for openness. Can you feel the shoulder blades slide around on the back? Can you feel the tail lift? Can the sit bones widen? What happens with your head and your tail in the movement of your spine? Can you feel that completeness? And then feel free to move around any way you want to move. Make sure that you are breathing. So if any part of your practice takes your breath away from your spacious self, if you feel like you're holding your breath or tensing the breath or shortening the breath, back away in your physical practice until you can get to that feeling of fullness, especially with your exhales. Let it be paramount. Let it be more important than, strength building or stretching. Let it be paramount in your practice that you listen and respect the breath. Curl your toes under and lengthen up to dog pose when you're ready. Feel free to pedal out your feet here. Maybe you want to lift one foot and then the other. Maybe you want to bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you want to swing one hip up and then the other. Just see what kind of movement is going to help you be in your body. So even an aggressive yoga practice can sometimes be a denial of the body, a power over, a sense of dominance or stealing from the subtle or more subtle energies in the body. So see if you can have that balance of soft and hard, of effort and ease as we work through our poses. Feel the weight of your hands and your feet. Yield into the earth as best as you can. Find the breath. right, and then as you're ready, come back down onto your knees and come onto all fours. Let's come back towards child's pose. Take your hips toward the heels. Walk the hands over to the left side of your mat as you ease your pelvis back down toward your feet. Relax the base of the skull. Deepen your breath. And then walk your hands over to the other side. Stay weighted. Pelvis down. Relax the base of the skull. Open up the rib cage here. Breathe deeply. Can your exhales come out steady and slow? Or do you need to sigh? Just accentuate the exhales. And as you do so, let the breath teach the body to relax. Let it be a cue to your nervous system that all is well. I'm okay. Everything's going to be okay. So that you can come into that relaxed state and deal with the tasks at hand. Come back to center. Come up onto all fours. Reach the right arm up in the air. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Find your breath. Can your practice and your breath be a comfort to you? You know, when we are stressed, we don't make such good decisions sometimes, right? So let your practice support you. Reach that arm up to the sky, place the hand down onto the ground, change sides. Arm up, exhale, slide arm down. Go ahead and reach that arm all the way up to the sky. Place the hand down onto the ground. Back to dog pose you go. Extending the spine. Second time around. What's here? Where are you in your body? Can you feel? Can you stay present? Can you breathe? What do the bottoms of your feet feel like? What do the soles of your hands feel like? All right, and then walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Feel free to bend your knees a lot, wag your tail, move your shoulders, move your head, let things loosen. Inhale for a halfway lift. You can hold your thighs, extending the spine, soften your knees. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, rise up, reaching the arms, lean back a little bit if it feels good. Open the chest, spread out your wings. Exhale and round in. Bring your palms to each other. Finding the breath. Long exhales. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and release back down. Step your left foot back. Your right foot is forward, coming into a lunge. Feel the extension in your spine. Are you happy to be in your body? Is your practice making you feel good? Square the hips, tuck the chin toward the chest. Bend the knee, the heart comes forward. Make sure you're breathing. Move with the breath. One of the beautiful things about warming up is we get to befriend the body. Nothing's too difficult yet. So, we're not having to manage finding ease amongst effort. We're just finding ease, right? Just befriending the body. Walk your back foot forward, fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and relax back down. Wake up the feet. Step your other foot back, come to a lunge. Left foot is forward, extending the spine, opening across the collarbones and heart. Squaring the hips, tuck the chin toward the chest. Find your way into your breath. As you touch into all the different parts of your body to warm things up, are you finding things? Are you finding spots that you need to be respectful and kind to? Are you in pain? Are you injured anywhere? Are you finding places that are like, oh, I didn't know you were there? Welcome. Okay, welcome home, welcome back, welcome in. So just notice what you're finding. Are you exhaling well? Great. And then walk your back foot forward. Fold in half again. Halfway lift. Your spine grows. Sit bones lift. Knees are soft. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up, reaching the arms to the sky. One more time, cactus, open the arms. And then exhale and bring your palms together. Okay. Release your arms down at your sides. And let's just practice this concept of yielding one more time. You know, you can't have enough practice in yielding, in my opinion. So if you're not familiar, I think most of you are, but just in case, let's find the extremes, which are never good, right? We're always seeking the middle way. Look what happens in our society when there's these extreme groups. Okay, let's find the center. See what it feels like to drop weight into the feet. Close your eyes. Now we're going to find too much, so collapse. What does it feel like to give all your weight to the earth, to be not self-supporting at all? Okay, maybe that means you lean into one hip, or you collapse your shoulders, or you push your pelvis forward. Just notice, probably you're not breathing well. Okay, and then do just the opposite. Prop yourself up like you're trying to come off the earth. Okay, this kind of fake sense of I got this, right? It's not supported by anything. You just see, probably you're not breathing. Probably you got some locked out joints. Okay, and then find the middle way. Find the middle way between those two extremes. Can you yield your feet? Come into the sensation of the bottom of your feet. I always like to think of it as my diaphragm drops down to my pelvis, drops down to my knees, drops down to the soles of my feet. So what does it feel like to have diaphragms breathing in the bottom of your feet? Can you feel your give to the earth and you're receiving from the earth? And when you receive, instead of propping and pushing, can you just feel that energy travel up through the crown? This is the essence of root to rise, rooting into the earth, rising out of the earth. Nothing is extreme. We're just dipping into the energy flow. Close your eyes here and melt. Melt without collapse. Melt while staying sturdy and stable on the earth. Take a deep breath and let your exhale come. What if when the next time you are overcome by fear, anger, greed, sadness, worry, rage, anything, injustice, what if you found this first before you tried to make a judgment or an action? Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale and fold in half. Yield to the earth. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale and fold down. Long exhale. Step your left foot back. Your right foot is forward. Find a lunge. Find your stable ground. Push off the earth. Rise up. Crescent lunge. Arms go anywhere you want. What's supporting your breath? What's supporting your capacity to yield? What's supporting your capacity to be self-stabilizing in relationship to the earth instead of feeling like you are isolating and gripping your body? Is there a relationship of that yielding that gives you more stability and strength? How is the breath? Find a pocket in your body that you know you tense very easily and melt. Practice melting. Practice being stable and sturdy and melting. All right, let's go ahead and release the hands down. Come back to a plank. Very sturdy pose, right? So how do you find the stability, but still have a sense of yielding? Can you unlock the elbows and knees just a bit? Are your shoulders down away from the ears? Are you able to breathe? And if you can't do these things, put your knees down. Back off until you find that balance of stability and ease. Keep breathing. Yield your hands and feet. Okay, let's put our knees down. Come down to the floor. Find your breath. This is a great practice pose for not holding the breath. So take an inhale, come on up. Don't hold the breath here. Let your exhale bring you back down. Stabilize through the core or the legs.
Coming on up, don't hold the breath. Exhale, and melting back down. Let's try one more time. Shoulders are away from the ears. Stable body as you come up. Stable body even as you exhale. Come back up onto all fours. Swivel around. Practice different types of exhales. Blowing out through your mouth. Blowing out through pursed lips. Relaxing your jowls. Make some noises. Okay. Maybe you want to breathe out through your nose. Just get to know your exhale so it's available to you. All right, dog pose when you're ready. Deep breaths in and away. Left foot forward when you're ready. Come into a lunge on this side. Rise up. Arms go where you want them to be. Where are you in your grounding? Can you feel the yielding of your feet into the earth? Relax another little pocket spot of tension in the body. Are you able to move your diaphragm? Can you feel the diaphragms in the bottom of your feet? Okay, let's walk the back foot forward. Come into Uttanasana and fold. Okay, so feel the rest. Relax your head down. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Rise all the way up. Finding the breath. Finding your yielding again. Deep inhale, long exhale. Feel the right foot reach into the earth. Let's lift the left knee up. Bring your arms wherever you want them to be. Finding a sense of balance. Now, when you are here and trying not to fall over, what happens to your breath? Can you still find the yielding? Can you still find the breath, even if you're wobbly at all? Okay, exhale, put that foot down onto the ground, change sides. Maybe something different with your arms. Maybe what you decide where you want your upper body to be in space. The hips are square. Unlock the knee you're standing on. Yield the foot into the floor. Feel the rebound up through the crown. Find your breath. Relax a part of your body that's tense. Focus your gaze without hardening. And then release your foot down onto the ground. Take a block if you want it. Stick it between your thighs. If you want to, you don't have to use a block. For chair pose, you can use a block. Come in, bring your hands onto your thighs for a moment. Ground your legs. Have just a little pressure. Ground your legs. Feel your heels root. And then bring your arms wherever you want them to be. So as we start to rev up the strength engines a bit, find the ease. What are your shoulders doing? Are your ears all cramped up with your shoulders? Relax that space, and maybe that means your arms need to do something different. So many choices. Bring your breath as your paramount focus. Long exhales. As we start to feel the strength in our body, can you stay in the blood flow that's coming to your legs? Can you stay in the sensations that you're feeling without wanting to pull away? Are you still able to move the diaphragm well? Are you still able to yield into the feet? The pockets of tension that you know you hold, what are you doing with them? Can you let them go? What happens when, difficulty starts to arise in your physical body, even if it's just a physical sensation of pain or suffering, or in this case, quadriceps working? How do you stay relaxed? How do you be the eye of the storm? Okay. Inhale, rise up, lean back a little bit, open the chest, spread your wings. Exhale, fold in half. Okay, you can take that block out of there if you want. Let's take our right foot forward, left foot all the way back into a lunge. Plant your knee down onto the ground. Find your breath, come up to crescent lunge again, but with our knee down. Stabilize through your lower body. Deep breaths in and away. And we're gonna come into a twist here. Take either your elbow to the outer knee or your forearm on your knee. Extend and open up the spine. Hug to the midline so you're stable, but feel you're yielding. Balance those forces of the push and pull. Try not to go extreme. How's your breath? Let the twist kind of get into some nooks and crannies of your breathing. All right, and then let's release the hands down onto the ground and walk your back foot forward. Tuck your toes or put a block there. Inhale, chair pose again. Find your weight, yield, make sure your arms are in a place that you are best able to breathe and relax. So detach yourself from, I must do it this way, and instead feel into the body and make sure that you're creating a pose that is spacious and free and stable. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Step your other foot back. Our left foot is forward, our right leg is back. Place your knee down onto the ground. You can always keep it up if you don't like your knee down. It's not a rule. No rules, just principles, no rules. Inhale and rise up. Bring your arms anywhere you want them to be. Hug in, front heel, back knee, supporting. Finding your breath. And then when you're ready, finding your twist. So it can be super deep with your elbow to the outer knee. It can be less deep with your forearm or hand on your knee. Discover your breathing. Bring some things out. This is a good squeeze for the lungs a little bit. Let your breath kind of touch into all this, scrub out your lungs a little bit. Find all the spots that you haven't touched in a while. All right, and then release the hands down onto the ground one more time. Back foot comes forward, block or no block. Inhale, chair pose. We're gonna take a twist here. Take a deep inhale, exhale to the right. Arms can be out wide, hands can be on hips, anywhere you want. Inhale back, exhale the other way. Stay for a breath. And then come back. One more time, you get to decide, do you want to do one breath, one movement where you just feel the flow, or do you want to stay there? Decide how you want to feel. Eventually, finding your way back to a chair. Okay, draw the femur bones back, weight into the heels, put your arms in a place that helps your shoulders and breath. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, and bring your feet apart as you fold forward. Step back to a plank. All right, so find your breath here. Open the chest. Make lots of room for breathing. All right, we're gonna put our knees down onto the ground. Turn sideways on your mat. Your knee stays down, Vasisthasana. You can always do the fuller version if you want to have 2 feet on the ground and no knee. Always choices, okay? Open the chest, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Find the breath. Maybe you look up, maybe you don't. Open up the sides of your body. And then exhale and release the hands toward the floor. Let's turn the other way. Open up the chest. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Find your breath. Are you able to yield? What does your hand feel like? What does your knee feel like? And then come back to all fours. Come onto your mat. And let's just practice some yielding here. So first, let's just sway into your right hand and then push off your right hand and sway into your left. And try not to bounce. We're not propping away from the earth or collapsing in. We're finding that yielding. Are your elbows unlocked? Can you feel the rebound all the way into your shoulder, crossing across your sternum into the other hand? So feel the rebound in your body. Are you breathing? All right, now we're going to add the legs into it. So we're going to yield into our right foot, yield into our right hand, yield into your left hand, yield into your left foot, left knee. So you go in this little circle as
Fast or slow as your yielding takes you. Are you breathing? Are your joints loose? Is there space? Maybe try going the other direction. Close your eyes. Try to feel at what's happening on the inside as you yield from one joint or one limb into the other. And then stretch back towards child's pose when you're ready. Let the breath travel through your body all the way to the back of you. Deep breath in, deep exhale. Lift up to dog pose when you're ready, extending through your spine. Enjoy this posture. Hopefully, are your knees and elbows unlocked? Maybe they're even fairly bent. Can you feel the yielding into the earth, the rebound up through to the pelvis? Relax your neck. Cultivate some soft, loose joints. When you're ready, reach the right leg up in the air. Exhale and bring the right foot forward. And we're going to come up and turn to the side. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So put your legs in a comfortable place. Put your arms in a comfortable place. When you come into the spaciousness of this pose, can you once again find all the space in all your joints? Spread things out, loosen things up, yield into the earth. Find the exhales. Practice the art of letting go. So can you be stable, self-supporting, containing your energy, and at the same time realizing that you are not alone, that the earth is supporting you, that you're having a relationship with it. Give over your exhales, relax tense spots. As things settle and maybe you get a little fatigued, what do you do with that? Are you able to stay? Feel the softness. You might need to cultivate the softness. Is your diaphragm able to move? Can you feel the diaphragms in your feet? Are you able to yield? All right, let's go ahead and straighten the leg. Relax the arms for a moment. Let's turn to the second side. Same posture, Virabhadrasana 2. And depending on your hips and knees and things, your pose might be all the way up here where you're barely bending your knee. So find whatever's working for your joints to stay stable and free, for your body to feel able to be sturdy and self-supporting in relationship with the earth. What's holding you back from being able to relax? Soften all the muscles around your face, your eyes, your jaw, your tongue. Release any tension through the base of your skull. Allow your diaphragm to be free as you breathe. Can you feel into the bottoms of your feet and yield? Practice the art of letting go. What can surrender in your body as you stay in a sensation that's strong? Meaning, I don't mean strong like you are strong in this pose. I mean, the sensation is loud, right? Maybe the sensation in your thigh is loud to you right now. What do you do to stay in that big, strong sensation? Can you relax into it? Can you yield into it? Can you breathe into it? All right, let's go ahead and straighten the leg. We're going to come back, turn to the front side. Take a deep breath in, Parsvakonasana. Let the elbow rest on the knee. Open the chest. Feel the lungs expand. Put your arm anywhere you want them to be. Now, we're not twisting like we did before, but can you still get into all the nooks and crannies of the lungs? Fill up your breath. Empty out your breath. Yield to the soles of your feet. What does it feel like to have your arches breathe? Does it feel good to have a relationship with the earth? Try parking yourself off the earth and see, what did you lose? Okay, regain what you just lost. Stay in a strong sensation in the body. Relax, melt the shoulders. Anywhere that you tense, where are those little pockets for you? Can you allow yourself to let go? Stay stable and let go. Long exhales, yielding body. Spacious joints. Find the joints that can have big open rooms. Okay, come on up. Turn your feet the other way. Parsvottanasana on this side. Remember, your pelvis can turn, so I'm not going into a lot of alignment cues right now, but just remember what you know. Okay, so tracking the knee over the ankle in line with the middle toes. It can be before the ankle. Just don't go past the ankle. Where do you want your arms to be? What supports the breath? How do you keep the chest open, the shoulders relax? Can you feel the yielding? What prevents you from being able to yield if you have struggled with it? And don't worry if you struggle. If you're like, I have no idea what she's talking about, I don't feel yielding, just keep practicing. Now try to push yourself off the earth, prop. What got lost? Regain what got lost. Slow exhales as best as you can. Soften the tense spots. Connect to the earth. Stay in the strong sensation without feeling like you have to run away. Escape it. Can you stay within it? There is no escape, no escape. So might as well just make room where you are. All right, let's go ahead and come back up. Turn your feet to the long edge and come to rest in an inversion. So you can bring your arms wherever they want to be. Enjoy the symmetry of this posture, the ease in your quads. Lift and widen the sit bones, let the hamstrings stretch. Be mindful to not hyperextend the knees. So locked out joints prevents yielding. We're looking for that wide open space in our joints. Relax the breath. Long exhales. Okay, let's come back to dog pose. So find your mat, turn sideways, lengthen through your spine. Deep breath in and away. Come forward into a plank, sturdy posture. Where's your yielding? Where's your exhales? Where's the surrender? If your coping mechanism is very bracing, like I will brace myself for what's coming, what's here. How do you allow some room in there? How do you allow for what you're feeling to be instead of trying to push it away or guard yourself from it? And put your knees down. Find your way to the floor. Any back bend of your choice. So find the fullness of your pose. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Let your diaphragm move. All right, and then relax. Put your forehead on the ground or turn your head, whichever feels good. Pick up the feet and windshield wiper your knees. Let your back relax. So notice we didn't do anything extreme. We did some arm balances, we did a balance pose, we did some standing poses, we did some twists, we did some forward bends, some back bends, some side bends. All the, we kind of went around the world a little bit in the body without being extreme. Let's go ahead and come up onto all fours. Feel the swivels and sways, any kind of movement that feels nice in your body. And then as you're ready, find child's pose. Take your hips back toward the heels and rest. Arms go where you want them to be. Deep breath in and out. Come over onto your back. And bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit left and right. Put your right foot on your left knee. Reverse your pigeon pose. Feel free to stay in movement if you want. Feel free to be still. You can hold behind your thigh or in front of your shin, or you can just have one hand on your knee and one hand on your foot, whatever feels nice. Okay, and then relax and lower your legs down. Spread your legs out for a moment. Take a deep breath. So starfish your body, limbs are wide. Imagine all your joints are big cathedral halls with tall ceilings and giant windows, and fresh autumn breezes are blowing through your joints. Let's go ahead and change sides. Right foot down, left foot on right knee. Lift that up, be where you are. And choose a variation that works for your body. You can be still or rocking, anything that works for you. Enjoy the openness in your hips. Just stretch from some of the work that we've done. All right, and then go ahead and relax. Let's take a deep breath. Pick up your hips, move them right. Pick up your knees and drop them left. Open your breath into the twist. Turn your head. Feel the chest broaden. Once again, get into the nooks and crannies of your lungs. Full breath in, full breath out. Bring your knees back up. Scoot your hips left, knees up, drop right. Turn head left, open left chest. Deep breaths. All right, inhale and bring your knees back up. Bring your knees to your chest. Maybe a little happy baby, maybe just knees to chest and rocking, whatever feels really nice. And then as we come into Shavasana, if it's comfortable for you, have your limbs a little wider than you might. And if you need support or need to change your position, always follow what your body needs. Make sure you are comfortable. If your knees need supporting, put support underneath your knees. If your head needs supporting, do that. Anything, you can even put your calves up on a couch or a chair. Anything that supports you so that your body is most at ease. Once again, find the big open space. Let all your joints be free. Let your whole body yield. Give way. Let gravity be a blanket to support. Let the earth be deeply supportive of you. Give yourself over. And before we slip deep into the stream of Shavasana, as you start to melt all the places in your face and your breath, let's just have a little visual. Let's imagine a world where kindness prevails. Think about a moment when you were kind and it made you feel good. When someone was kind to you and it made you feel good. And the connection that happened in those moments. And spread that energy out. Imagine it everywhere. Let's imagine a world where truth prevails. The clarity of a bell being rung. A vibrational tone of purity spreading. A sense of compassion for being able to witness truth. Imagine a world that is free of greed and possessiveness, where we share in each other's light, where we're glad for each other's successes, where jealousy dissolves, where a sense of I'm right and you're wrong dissolves, the black and white dissolves. Can you imagine a world of abundance where everyone has what they need? That we don't cling to that sense of mine. What would a world feel like if everyone was responsible for the management of their own energy? Where we could care for each other without dumping our emotional states upon each other. Where instead we learn to be renewing, receive what we need from the bounty of the earth, both in its nourishment physically and energetically. These are the yamas, the sense of kindness, compassion, love toward each other, sense of truth and purity, shared resources and lack of greed, sense of renewable resource in our energy systems, sense of deep connection and sharing, holding each other in the web. Allow your body to yield and melt into that vision. Stay with your breath.
Let's find our breath again. If you misplaced it somewhere, just reattend. Feel your big open space. Feel your yielding. Let's move a bit. Maybe wiggle toes, stretch hands, roll head. Maybe bigger movements to invigorate and wake yourself. Let's find our way into movement, maybe coming onto your side first before sitting up. Gently take your practice with you as you sit. As you come upright, feel the peace of your practice. And as we develop these ethical principles within us and make vows to follow the Yamas, we become very infectious. We inspire, we share our light, and others light up like a match lighting a flame. So be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change. Believe in it, hope for it, visualize it, feel it. And so offer that light outward. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.